are dozens of badges in Clash Royale, but only a small number of those are considered rare. And even then, each of them have their own tiers where they level up and become even more rare, or others that are impossible to obtain. So here are the rarest badges in Clash Royale. And to keep things simple, I'm gonna talk about these in categories instead of a top 25 or something. Let's start with your everyday game mode badges. You'd be surprised, but very few people have maxed their ramp up and double elixir badges. Now, we don't have numbers for every badge in this video, which is why I didn't rank them from least to most rarest, but luckily for these, we do. Currently, only 80 accounts have the double elixir badge maxed, which requires 1,000 wins. But absolutely no one has maxed their ramp up badge yet. Just over 150 players have the level 6 ramp up badge, which requires 500 more wins, but not the level 7. And this is likely because ramp up doesn't appear that often. It's usually in Clan Wars, but I mean, come on, it's Clan Wars, dude. Nobody wants to play that. Next are the regular challenge badges. These are the classics and the grands. This actually caught me by surprise, but there is currently less than 50 accounts who have maxed their classic challenge badge. Even though they are easier than grand challenges, says the one who has 0 for both, 1,000 is still a lot of wins to get and definitely must be less motivating. You know, everyone wants the cooler one, the grand one. So in terms of the grand challenge one, 163 accounts have it at level 5, 22 accounts at level 6, and only 1 account has it maxed. Though a couple are catching up these days, but come on, what a grind. These challenges were added in 2016 and are still among the hardest badges to max. But you know what's even rarer? A great game like the one from Death Sisters, today's sponsor. They have just released their next Cookie Run title, Oven Smash, which is a real-time PvP action game where you get to play as familiar and new cookies from the Cookie Run universe, collect many of their skins and apparels, and go crazy in fun and casual battles, whether that's in 3v3 or solo. There is a lot of game modes already: Smash Fight, Jelly Race, Drop the Beat, some classics like Wild Royale where it's a last man standing type of thing. But my favorites have to be Castle Crasher, a 3v3 match where you fight to push this gnome riding a giant turtle with a cannon strapped to it. I love how random it is. And escorted to destroy the other team's castle or whoever gets the turtle to the other side first. It's like a capture the flag mode. Or better yet, gnome battle where you collect these tiny gnomes as a team to build a statue the fastest. But of course, the enemy can steal your gnomes when they defeat you and that can hinder your build progress. But that's what makes it chaotic and fun. So if you want to check it out, use my link down below. It just launched. You could say it's fresh out the oven. Okay, but that was good, you know, because cookies. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, it's time to get to the big boy stuff. Let's start with seasonal badges. So right off the bat, as you know, those who are into pushing, there is a badge to be won every single month. And the way you max it out is to reach Ultimate Champion. Now, I'm not sure what is going on lately. They only put like 5 of these out and forgot about it, maybe. It's possible they may return in the future, but that's besides the point. For now, the ones that currently do exist are quite rare if you have them maxed out. The July Ultimate Champion, August, September, October, and November. All of those were from 2025. Now, I know, some will say Ultimate Champion ain't that hard. It's just a skill issue, dog. Anybody can make it. But the fact is, only a very small percent of players make it there, about 1 or 2% every month. And even though that is probably tens of thousands monthly, compared to the millions of active players, it is quite rare. Speaking of leagues, the next best thing is ranked finish badges. As you can imagine, these are much rarer than the Ultimate Champion badge, as you have to make it to the top 1,000 in the global leaderboards. But it's also been available for way longer, as the leaderboards predates Ultimate Champion by 8 years. Of course, badges weren't around back then, but when they did add badges, a bunch of players got this badge. How much is gonna be a wild guess, I don't know, but I do know one thing: the smaller the number on that badge, the rarer it is. And even more, this badge also upgrades every additional time you get to the top 1,000. So in this category, the rarest would be a maxed out ranked finish badge with a number 1 on it, is what I would say if this didn't exist. Yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a -1 on there. How on earth is that? Like, what does it even mean to be -1? Well, first, a shout out to Molt. I'm using some of his footage here because he's one of those players to have this strange oddity. Or had. I'll explain in a second. He believed it displayed a -1 because he reached number 1 during the game's beta. However, there's been accounts discovered to have never reached number 1 during the beta with this badge, so that can't be right. It turns out the most likely explanation is it was bugged. The game wasn't tracking the top 1000 finishes properly back in the day, and so those who reached it prior to March 2017, which was the legacy ladder system, this is what the badge will look like. It's unknown if it was bugged for everyone or just a small number of players, but eventually the badges were redesigned and this is what it looks like today. Yeah, it's missing the number, it's gone. Which is odd because these badges always have a number, so I guess this makes it the rarest of all ranked finish badges, not having a number. Before we move on from these though, there is also an equivalent for merge tactics, and this one might even be rarer because less people play merge tactics, and even less of those players that play merge tactics make it to Diamond League. I think I read somewhere about 1% of merge tactics players make it there. Though the badge does start counting at 10,000, so the bar is lower, but I still believe it's rare enough for a mention. Of course, the smaller the number, the rarer. Speaking of ranked, this next category is sort of similar, special mode badges. Since we've had many different modes with their own leaderboards, we see leaderboard finisher badges for those too, so these are the ones with the number. This includes the Chaos leaderboard finisher, the 2v2 league, touchdown, mega draft, and retro royale. I wouldn't say they're extremely rare, but definitely worth a mention, right? There is one more badge I wanted to talk about in this category, and it's the What Can I Say Secret Chaos badge. Now, as you know, this was everywhere when the mode first appeared. The first badge was to get 3 wins without losing. The second one was to destroy the King Tower without damaging the Princess Towers. Very hard, but not impossible. And finally, the third, play a match with 4 very specific modifiers: Goblin Mortar, Goblin Party Hut, Goblin Party Rocket, and Wizard Trio. This was definitely the hardest of these 3 because of the fact that this combination of modifiers was not easy to get, especially all of them in one match. There were creators and players who ran the numbers for this, and apparently there was a 1% chance to get the right combination of modifiers in a match. So it would have took an average of 100 matches to get it right, and that is assuming you had all the cards in your deck, so this certainly wasn't something you accidentally obtained. Now, we do have a number for this, as Supercell said only 2.4% of Chaos players got the badge. We don't know how many players the 2.4% is, but that is a small percent. Now, Chaos is planned to return, so this number will certainly increase in the future, but for now, I think it's just as rare as some of the others in this video. Next, we have the Global Tournament, or Royal Tournament badges, or whatever you want to call them. These tournaments have been going on since 2018, so there's quite a few of them out there, especially how you only need to make the top 1000 in the tournament leaderboards. Only, I say like it's some easy thing to do, but it's not. My highest rank is probably like 1 billion. The badge also upgrades every time you get top 1000, just like the ranked badges. So in this category, the rarest badge would be a maxed badge with a number 1 on it. Also, there is a different one for retro royale tournaments, so these are the exact same as the regular ones in terms of how they're upgraded and the number, but they're just a different design. Up next is the creator badge. I don't really know what category this is in, I guess its own. But anyway, this badge has been available since 2022, but it has progressively gotten harder to obtain. Back in 2022, all Clash Royale super creators in the creator program got the badge, which is the highest tier you can achieve in the program, and so that alone is not easy, especially these days. Some of the requirements are having gone through all of the previous tiers, having built a strong relationship with Supercell, be entrusted with sensitive and early materials, and have 100,000 subscribers. But it got even harder in 2024. You were no longer given one for free, but you had to buy it in a market type of thing with Creator Elixir. Oh, and you still needed to be a super creator for at least 30 days to buy. But then in 2026, they got rid of the creator market, so currently it's not even clear how you get it anymore. In my opinion, I think what they'll end up doing is giving it out again for free to super creators. Anyway, back in late 2022, only 75 accounts had the badge, and if I were to guess today, probably 200 or so out there, maybe. I don't know. but what I do know is that it's definitely a rare badge. And finally, the CRL badges. They are certainly not all equal, so let's start with the CRL 20 win challenge. These are the ones with the red border. It's pretty self-explanatory. All I had to do was get 20 wins in the CRL challenge. Easy, right? And some of them even gave it to you if you got 17 wins, which doesn't make any sense. You know, the math ain't mathing, but yeah. Interestingly, for these, we do have numbers, and instead of reading them out one by one, here's a graph that I made of how many of each badge was given out. So about an average of 5,000 of each out there, and many are owned by the exact same accounts. It's estimated that 30% of winners are repeats. But anyway, this makes the 2019 badge the rarest of them all since it has the lowest number of wins. Then there are all of the CRL World badges. This includes the Spectator, Participant, and Champion. The Spectator one was certainly the easiest to get. I'm not even sure if I'd call it rare at all, because all you had to do was watch the CRL live streams and all. Where things actually get rare are the others, starting with the Competitor badge, also called the Finalist badge in some specific years. These were basically given to players who were competing in the CRL tournaments. To give you a perspective of how rare these are, only 128 accounts have the CRL Competitor 2022 badge. That is incredibly rare, and it's unfortunate we don't have numbers for all of these, but I'd say all of the Finalist / Competitor badges are all equally rare. And then there is the Champion badge. To my knowledge, they only did it twice, and it was for the CRL 2024 and 2025. It was pretty straightforward. All you had to do was win the CRLs. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Both of them that I know are actually owned by the same person, Muhammad Light. So yeah, both of these badges are owned by one account only, and it's the same account. So yeah, those are the rarest badges in Clash Royale. TLDR, whatever they call it, these are the rarest badges here, in case you skipped to the end. I had a lot of fun researching for this video, and I hope you all enjoyed as well. But hey, before you go, YouTube thinks you'll like this next video, so check it out. Come on, I think you'll like it too. As always, thanks for watching, and have a good me out. Peace!